Mr. Transformers 96 here with another Transformers custom video. This time I'm going to be talking about a custom figure that I made, which is Daytrader from Transformers The Last Night. So I decided to make this custom. I got a lot of requests to make him, so I started to think about how I kind of would go about doing it. I did make a video asking you guys specifically if you wanted me to make him. I got an overwhelming response to do so, and I was able to get the figure that I needed to do him, which was another Last Night Hound figure at a nice discount. Still had to pay, quite a lot of money considering I only needed its head. However, it was enough that I did decide to pull the trigger and to go ahead and do it because I thought that it would be a fun one to do, and I was right. It was very fun to put together. So let's talk about the custom. First of all, just give you a little look, a 360 look at the thing. As you can see, a lot going on here. I will talk about all these pieces, how I got them on, and where they're all from, basically. But before I start on that, just the base figure of this is Mindset. Mindset is a very short, stubby, stocky-looking Transformer, and he's actually, his design I really have always liked, and I thought that it would, when I thought about, I don't know what made me think about that figure, but when I was trying to think about how to do Daytrader, and I kind of went through some of my old figures just to look for anything that would inspire me, I came across Mindset, and for some reason it kind of clicked as that could work, and I did start to mess around with the idea of using that as the base, and I think that it's a pretty smart base figure to use, to be honest. I think it's a good size for him. Also, Mindset has a rather large backpack section, like a cage section that's hollowed out, so you can put stuff on it and around it, which is used in for the Mindset figure himself. He has these two, massive rocket launchers that come out that have big, what's it called? Missile sections here. They have these missile sections that stick way out of the back of the missile, so the missile sections get stored in that big cage section. So that's why he has that big section on the back. But that worked really perfectly to hang all the garbage on. And also you can do this with Hailstorm. Hailstorm is the same as Mindset. They're just repaints of each other. The only thing different about them is the head sculpts, and you're going to have to remove the head no matter what, so it really doesn't matter which one you use. Mindset already has a base color that's very similar to Daytrader though, so I'd recommend using Mindset if you have the choice, but either one would work. What I also did was Mindset, the way that he transforms is if you pull his arms out, this section right here will lower and his head will sit lower on the body, and his arms will be wider out. I decided just to kind of put them in more, therefore his head could sit up a little higher, gave him a little extra height, and it made his arms not be so wide out and more closer to the body. So I decided to do that, super glued it in place, and I even put a Lego at the bottom there, if you can see it, just to kind of prop it up so that it wouldn't move whatsoever. As far as the face sculpt, that is Hound. Let's see. Yeah, that's a Hound head sculpt from Transformers Last Night, but with the top of the head kind of cut off. This little section here to kind of symbolize Daytrader's kind of hat type of thing. That is just like a piece of the bicep from a Transformers Prime Beast Wars or Beast Hunters, whatever it was called, deluxe bulkhead figure. Just his bicep. I was using a lot of that figure anyway, so he was just like a big scrap, and I noticed that his bicep looked like it would be the right size, so I kind of cut that and cut it into place and put it on there, and I think that it works well. And then the ears are just little extra pieces of plastic I had from Laserbeak from when I did my Mohawk custom, so I was just able to glue the ears on, glue the hat on, and then with the face, gave it a bit of a rusty paint look. Didn't go too extreme with it, but I did just go a little bit. I also painted more pupil sections on the eyes, just so that there was clear pupils in there. As you can see, you got some blue pupils, which the Hound figure doesn't have. Hound, his eyes are just kind of solid blue, so I just painted lighter blue as the pupil. I think that looks much better, gives a little more personality. The Hound head and Daytrader's head in the movie are very similar. They both have the same type of look. They both have very prominent noses and things like that. The only big difference that I noticed was the hat and the ears. The expression is also something that I'm not a big fan of. I wish I could have Daytrader have a different expression than Hound, because Daytrader really shouldn't be super stoic. He's more of a goofy character. But, you know, obviously I couldn't change the expression, so I kind of have to just deal with that. But overall it works. I put Mindset's neck joint, I cut it off of the Mindset head and put it on the back of Daytrader's head, or of Hound's head, so he does maintain a full articulation, a full ball joint, which is nice. Definitely glad that he maintains all of that articulation. I bulked up the torso, because Mindset, he bulks up at the shoulders, but then he gets pretty thin towards the waist. So what I did was I just took panels, glued them onto the sides there, took a front panel right there, and this rounded section, all of which were cut and painted from the same figure that I got the hat from, which is the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters Deluxe Bulkhead figure. That figure, the reason I used so many parts from him on this custom was because I hate that figure. It's an awful figure that I have. It, like, I don't know what's wrong with it, like, but the plastic has like stretch marks on it, just because it was super cheap the way it was made. And it's not like I got a knockoff or anything. I bought that in stores when it came out. It's just a super cheap figure. So I have no interest in that figure. It hasn't held its value at all on eBay. So I just have no allegiance to it. I decided just to completely scrap him and use all of his parts on him. And I'm sure I'll use his other parts on other figures, because you know, I could care less about that figure. So all of the torso section parts are from him. Also on the back, several pieces are from him. The large chunk of plastic here, this section here, and then the same on the other side, kind of have those in a very similar position. Also this wheel is from him, if you can see it. The wheel right here is from him. This might be from him. This is a joint. I think it's from him as well. And then as far as the other stuff goes, this black thing right here, that's like the cockpit section of Laserbeak. You have some Lego sections, like this hose is Lego, this little thing is Lego, this little wind-up piece is Lego, this kind of whatever that's called, like a twisting door thing is Lego. The bike is Lego. Binoculars. What is this? Oh, it's something. A lock, yeah, a lock. The clock. All of that's Lego. Let's see, this little buzzsaw thing, not 100% sure where that's from. I think it's just from another figure. This little section up here, this is the one part that, like, I try to keep accurate. In the movie, on all of his junk, he does have like this missile section, or this exhaust pipe thing that sticks up to an angle right here. So I tried to give that, you know, a similar position like it was in the movie. That came from a Megamind figure that I just, you know, I have the pieces for it, really don't have any allegiance to it, so I decided to use it. This door section is from Berserker. This is from Dreadbot, or I mean, this is from Lego. And then this back big section, this is part of the accessory from the Beast Hunters Starscream Deluxe figure from the Transformers Prime series. I used the claw section for Onslaught, so just use the other scrap. Most of the backpack stuff on this guy is all just scrap pieces from other customs, and then a lot of Lego stuff. That's basically how it went down. So yeah. And then inside the big cage section, because this is all wrapping around like a big square cage section, inside of that I do have another piece just to add a little bit of color in there. But it worked out great, because if you just did this custom on a different figure, if you try to do the same thing, you just have to be like gluing layers and layers and layers of junk on their back. But with this figure, it was perfect, because you can just put everything on that massive cage and glue it all in. You want to do enough stuff that you kind of hide the cage, and the cage is black, so it kind of blends in anyway, and then it just looks like he has a big pile of garbage on his back. It works out perfect. I'm quite happy with I don't think it could have happened any more perfect, you know. I think that this body sculpt, if any of you are going to do a Daytrader figure, I would totally recommend using this body sculpt. Even if you don't plan to extensively bulk up the torso, just to have the back section have that cage is super necessary. Also, I think it's a good height, and I will go over the height pretty soon here. But then as far as the paint is concerned, Mindset was already pretty close to the same paint. Like, a lot of this blue is all the same. I just added some things, like the lighter blue I've added, and then the silver pieces I've added. I obviously had to paint all of these parts from Bulkhead, and and then the torso underneath I painted a little bit, but left a lot of stuff. Also, he has like in the movie, he legitimately has like a chest section, like two kind of like rounded chest sections, which just looks so stupid. It's really goofy in the movie. However, it's kind of represented by this figure, because this figure has that type of ball sections on his torso, so it kind of is accurate to the movie, which I think is kind of funny. And then the arms I painted like just a few little details silver in here, and then I painted this section blue. He doesn't have a ton of blue on his arms, I noticed in the movie, so I tried to avoid, going crazy with the blue there. And then I just gave him a, big old rusting. A lot of the parts on his back I painted as well, not everything, but I did paint a lot, and then I just rusted it all up or scratched it up with silver, things like that. So I weathered everything on this figure. There's not a single piece on this figure, on his backpack or on his actual person, that I didn't actually weather. So everything's weathered. And he, of course, maintains his articulation, the mindset articulation, basically. So giving you a little size comparison, here he is with Hound. Hound is missing his head just because I did buy a replacement, like I mentioned. As you can see here, I haven't opened it, so missing his head there. But as you can see, I think that they're pretty nicely in scale. I know that there's a lot of people that think that Daytrader should be a Voyager, but he's not actually that big in the movie. And then here he is with like Drift. He's really not that big. He's very hunched over, so his head lays pretty low on his actual just design anyway. And he's not particularly large. He's very wide because of all the stuff that he has on him and everything like that. So I think this is a pretty good scale. And obviously, if you just compare them from the side here, he's super bulky, comparatively speaking. So you get a lot with this guy, basically. Just comparatively speaking, as you can see, he's the bulkiest of them all. And I think that is a solid design, and because of that bulk, he kind of becomes a small Voyager, basically. Even though, the base figure is a deluxe, there's enough stuff added to the actual body and then the back section that he basically is the size of a small Voyager. So yeah, so overall, quite happy with this Daytrader custom. I think it came out pretty neat, and it was a fun one to do because it allowed me to take a lot of liberties. It wasn't like my other customs where, like on Onslaught, I've got to put a claw here, I've got to put a gun here, I've got to put a necklace here, things like that. Like, that's how I've done all my other customs to make them accurate. However, with this guy, I obviously can't make the backpack 100% accurate. I can't get the exact thing and put it exactly where it should go. So I really just had to take a lot of liberties, just kind of picked what I thought would look nice, what I thought would fit well, what I thought would be secure, things like that, and really just designed it myself. As well as the torso, this was just a really neat challenge because I had to get pieces that would fit on it properly and give him the bulk that he needed, like bulk up his sides a bit and then bulk up the tummy section to give him a bit of a stomach. So it was fun to do, lots of liberties I could take, and it was just a fun kind of neat design challenge. And this character is so unique in that way that if you did it yourself, you can take liberties, and it makes it so that you don't have to make it perfect to still make it look like Daytrader, which is kind of nice. So there you go, that's my video talking about my custom Daytrader from the last night. Let me know what you guys think of this figure, and thanks so much for watching. Before I go, I am doing a few more customs, of course. I've got a list of customs to do. However, last night I did just start on a couple customs, being Squeaks as well as Rampage. So those would probably be my next ones, unless I squeak in another custom before I finish them. Not quite sure, but if I don't, those two will be my next customs. So let me know what you guys think of this one. If you have any requests, love to hear them. Love to hear you guys' ideas in general, and thank you for watching.